How am I feeling so great 30 days after ACL surgery? I find it kind of hard to believe that the doctor said you're gonna have a rougher experience going through this ACL rehab since I tore up my cartilage so much, but I feel like I'm having an easier time going through it and I am feeling great, not just good, but great. Why? Well, I'm gonna explain to you everything in today's video about how am I feeling so good with all the recovery methods I'm using and implementing, having already done an ACL surgery earlier this year on my other knee, and also what kind of hydration and stretches am I doing to help make sure that I keep my body and my tissue feeling optimal, flexible, and mobile as possible. First things first, a lot of things have changed, but we are back on the assault bike. So usually when I go into PT rehab, no, they don't have an assault bike in PT. They have this boring recumbent bike, and it actually does the job. I think for some of us that might have very, very limited range of movement, it's very easy. It doesn't even get your legs to bend that much, but just enough to get a little bit of pedaling. You're sitting back there doing it. So what I have done on this bike is I've adjusted the seat. So right now I'm on level 3 as far as the range. And now it takes me a little bit, I'm gonna push. And the thing with this bike is I'm not even trying to get crazy watts and a calorie burn. I'm literally just trying to go forwards and backwards. So I'm getting some nice pedals. But I keep mine adjusted for level 6 on the assault bike. I may go level 7. And sometimes if I'm doing level 7 here, it just kind of depends. I can get a little bit, it's a little bit easier to bend. Actually, with my knee being swollen, believe it or not, I'll use level 7, but I will go back down to level 6 if I'm putting the middle of my foot there. Now see, if I have the middle of my foot, that is, sometimes I'm actually trying to feel my butt and my glutes more, so I'll push through the heels, so I'll drop it down. But when I'm using the ball of my foot, that level 7 is the sweet spot. Level 6, I'll go a little bit less. Now, the main thing you're gonna find after ACL surgery is that I was starting with this bike all the way back because I actually I don't know, just the first week I tried to get on the bike, and even all the way back and putting my foot on the pedal, I was like, here, I was like, oh, it wouldn't even bend. Now we're gravy, we can bend a little bit. So I'm gonna have an assault bike workout. I'm not gonna spoil the details about how to do this over the course of the next 6 weeks when you're cleared to start doing your physical therapy. But right now I'm on level 3. Usually I keep it all the way up front on level 1, so I get the most drive, the most power. So just having that a little bit more forward, I can get my hips in alignment with the pedal just a little bit more forward so I can get more force and power. But I'm sitting right here, I'm just kind of pedaling and pushing. So my watts, let's see, right here, this range, actually right now, I can push probably close. I'm like at 100 watts. I'm not trying to go crazy. This is a good little knee bend, but I'm gonna go forwards for a minute, and then I'm gonna go backwards. I don't think, even my first rehab and physical therapy for my ACL surgery earlier this year in March, I didn't even do 4 backwards on the assault bike. I was doing it in rehab, but just the going backwards on the bike is just a little bit easier. Obviously, you're never gonna use this in real life. Just kind of like running, where you run forward a lot. You're not doing as much backpedaling and side movement, but to keep your hips, not from getting abused in just that one plane, you wanna train them a little bit differently. You wanna do some side lateral movements. You wanna do some backwards movements just to kind of strengthen the legs in different ways. Same thing with the biking. I'm kind of pedaling, just going at a different, it's a little bit different. I mean, similar ranges of motion, but just using a little different set of muscles going backwards. If I want to work it a little bit more, I will not use the handles. But in the beginning, when my leg was super stiff, I was using this handles to help, because doing all the force on your knee is very, very hard. So I would use the handles to kind of help it, and it depends. So like when I'm using this bike, I'm not trying to set records. I'm just probably going for about 6 to 8 minutes. We're 30 days in post ACL surgery, so generally I'm about around the 10-minute mark, and I will soon start getting into my 20-minute assault bike movements. Put on a little bit of weights in surgery because I hadn't been able to do cardio. But what I was able to do within the first week, I was able to use a skier, which has been really, really cool. Now, I'm not going to include that in today's video because I think the bike is going to be the most therapeutic thing to help get range of movement and blood flow. And that's why I like doing it first, like right when I walk in the door. rather than foam rolling, because there's still a lot of swelling and inflammation, I just want to hop on the bike. I just want to get some movement. So normally what I would do is, it's my second week, or when I was able to, I had this on level 6 all the way back. I was trying that probably day 12 or 13, and then moving this thing forward just a little bit each week. And I was actually around level 4, and then just today, actually I was able to get it to 3, feels pretty comfortable. Let's see what it feels like level 1, just to show you guys. Let's see if I'm there. You know, I guess I could probably go here. Okay, not bad. So I'm all the way forward. Let's go back. Now I'm warmed up a little bit, so this is good. Just found something new, so I'm gonna stay on level 1. I like keeping this forward. Again, I'm on 5'11", right around a little over 200 pounds right now, so nothing is like kind of hitting me in the chest. I can stay forward. For some people that might be a little bit bigger or larger, I might move this back a little bit, maybe on level 3. Having it all the way back, I don't feel you're gonna have as much power and stride when you're using a bike, but these are just things I'm going through, and I feel this assault bike is the best thing to help you warm up after ACL surgery. If you're a former athlete or training a lot, this is good just because of the fact you can use your hands, you can use your legs. Is it a little bit more aggressive? Yeah, kind of, because it causes a little bit more knee bend. But again, if you watch my other video, I was doing those band stretches, right? Let's see if I have something here. Imagine a longer band wrapped around the foot. I was sliding it on the slider and pulling and stretching and extending and locking it out. So because I was doing all my stuff the first couple of weeks, or not first couple of weeks, really that 10 to 14 day, just right at 2 weeks, those past weeks 2 to 4, I was doing so many stretches to get the flexibility and mobility to be able to use the bike. So it's so important that you listen to your physical therapist and follow everything they say. You know, they told me crutches for, what was it? You know, 3 to 4 weeks, and I only did them 8 days, but I was able to get out of them faster because of the fact that I have a good base. Even with that brace, I haven't been using it while I'm doing my training, but in social settings, they definitely want you to have your brace on for the first 6 weeks, just because you might be feeling good, but someone else may not know and they might bump into you. But usually when you see someone with a brace, you're like, oh, okay, they might have just had surgery. Let me not accidentally trip and fall into that person, you know? So using a bike has been first, foremost, paramount, so good to getting that range of motion and helping getting that circulation and blood flow in the leg and loosen it up so I can perform other activities. So one of the new things I've been doing that I wasn't doing the first time around, I guess since my left leg was so flexible, it was easier for me to get that full lockout, and that is the most important thing, even more important than riding the bike. Although I'm gonna ride the bike to loosen up the leg, to get that range of motion, get some circulation to loosen it up. But the first most important thing that every therapist has told me is that you want your leg to be able to lock out. Because if you think about it, if you're just walking with a bend the whole time, your leg's gonna feel shorter, it's gonna disrupt, and your movement patterns and your lower back's gonna start feeling tight more than likely. So you wanna be able to get that leg to fully lock out. And you can even see right now cold, if I just prop my leg up, that I can just drop my hand through there, whereas my left leg, if I super relax it maybe a little bit, but it's pretty flush, right? So if I don't focus on that, it's gonna disrupt my walking ability. So I wanna be able to walk with a normal gait, have good posture. And to do that, what I'm gonna be doing is hanging off the edge of a massage table. I found this to be the best. I don't know if I guess you could, lay on the edge of your couch with one foot down. You could do that. So for example, maybe here, and pretend this is the edge of your couch and simulate this. But the head of physical therapy, what she was telling me was that, using ankle weight, we only use 3 pounds, but I'm graduating myself using 5 pounds now. And honestly, I've had these ankle weights for forever. I can't remember what video I've said it, but probably in 2007 when I was first buying fitness equipment, I bought a jump rope, I bought a kettlebell, and a Nike little medicine ball. And those were the first things. And I think the next thing, I got these Velcro, I don't even know what brand these are. It says Keys on here, Keys Fitness. I have these 5-pound ankle weights. They lasted forever. I actually went to Home Depot and reinforced them with a little extra stronger clip there. But what I'm gonna be doing here is moving Arlie out of the way, and I'm gonna be kind of hugging onto this table. And I'm gonna set my timer for about 3 minutes. And then basically you want half your thigh off of the table and then you just want this to just kind of lock out. It's gonna feel some pressure on the thigh, so I'm just kind of sitting here, set my timer, just going for 3 minutes every session, and I'll do this about 3 days a week. So I'm doing PT with a physical therapist 1 day a week. I'm doing the rest of my own another 2 days. And I think that's why I'm recovering a lot faster, because the first time I was just doing PT twice a week, barely doing a little bit more on my own, just relying on the physical therapist. But you can see my legs aren't perfect. Even with this ankle weight, the other leg is dropping down, but it's still tight. It still needs to be stretched. So I will start here. This ankle weight will help pull this leg down. Now, like I said, you can imagine this is the edge of a couch, and maybe my other foot's dropped, or I'm gonna be showing you the other end, but say the ankle weight's on the other leg, I might be on the edge of a couch and then have that leg extended off and then trying to do something like that. But this ankle weight is good, and what it's gonna do is just gonna have that pressure at the end of the foot, and it's gonna kind of help pull it down. I will do that for about 3 minutes. That's the new thing I'm doing, and I started that just, 14 days into my physical therapy. So now what I'll do is after that, we'll make some room, Arlie. Move Arlo over. And then here, I know you're a little uncomfortable. Let's get you in the video, right? Anybody in the video? Here, sit. All right, so I have my leg onto the foam roller. Well, now you can't see my knee. That wasn't smart. Let's put him up for a second. Okay, Arlie. So what we're doing is we have my leg onto the foam roller, and then I'm just trying to push and then just kind of lock this out. I'm grabbing my hand on my foot here. Arlo, I know, you're like, dude, why do you make me work so much, huh? I'll put them back on the other side. All right, and then also I'm gonna cross my other hand here. So this is probably something I got from a physical therapist slash trainer slash massage therapist a long time ago. His name was Pedro, worked at Lifetime. That dude was awesome. He moved to Florida. What's up, Pedro, if you ever still watch my videos. But my outside of my thighs, and probably like everybody else, the outside of my leg was so tight. So he had me starting reaching to the outside. And I think for some of us, it might be hard to reach and touch our toes, but I feel like it's the most basic stretch. But me just applying pressure, having this foot elevated, trying to get it to lock, and again, be easy, but you'll feel a little bit of discomfort or uncomfortableness. That's not a word, but grabbing the outside of my foot, pushing down on the thigh. Now, the thing is I love dynamic stretching, because sometimes static stretching, holding it here really hard, you can't do it for so long. So what we do is I use dynamic. I get uncomfortable, 9 out of 10, relax. Push, 9 out of 10. Very uncomfortable, and then I relax, but I'm only there for short bursts. Whereas, let's say I finish the workout, then I will probably take this off and then just kind of hang out here. A little mild. I might push it a little bit and do some longer static stretching, but I'll be honest, I think I'm more flexible in my hamstring, my right hamstring, in 30 days post ACL surgery than I was like having a good leg, because my right leg was notoriously so tight. And I know it sounds crazy. I was thankful for the first one because it taught me so much, and I felt like, it's an experience, and God's given me this ability to rehab. And now doing it twice, I feel stupid, but here I am, and I feel like I'm making better YouTube content. But tearing it the second time, I feel more flexible. So I am been stretching this right hamstring notoriously, because I told myself, you know what? Glass half full, I'm gonna be more hamstring flexible than I've ever been in my entire life. And so I'm using this to my advantage. So 2 things, ankle weight hanging off the edge of the table, also pulling on the outside of my foot, pushing down, dynamic stretches. Maybe I'm going 3 to 5 seconds uncomfortable, relaxing, and I'll even do some static holds a little bit. But those are the 2 things that I'm doing, really trying to get my leg locked out. We've had a couple of my other videos, I've shown you the Mark Pro. I'm not gonna get into that today because, I don't have the right pants on for it to kind of get roll up the pant sleeve, but getting electrical stimulation, getting that quad to fire, the second most important thing to getting this leg stretched is you need to get that leg to fire. So even in physical therapy, what I'm doing is I'll just have my foot on here, we'll have the Mark Pro, I'll have the E-stem on there, I'm shocking it, I'm flexing it, and I'm relaxing. And so usually it's 10-second cycles, and every 10 seconds for 4 seconds, it'll shock. And so when it shocks it, I flex it, I try and squeeze the leg and relax it. And then what I've done, my first physical therapy session I did, I well, second one technically. I'd raise the leg, flex it, squeeze it, and then bring it back down. So I'm just trying to get that quad to activate. So most important thing, getting that leg to lock out. Second most important thing, you want to get activation. And then obviously the bike will help you get the movement so you can walk a lot better. And also just a little bit of honorable mention. I'm going to drink a little bit of water. I'll get like 4, 5 giant swigs of this 96 ounce Stanley. One of my clients gave this to me. Joey, you are amazing, man. And this is to help keeping me hydrated. I use this hydrocell enhancer. I'm not gonna get too much into it. 𝘘𝙀𝙀𝗍 mineral helps blood circulation, higher oxygen levels, electrolytes, basically just helping the muscle cells get more hydrated. Half a squeeze of lemon, half a squeeze of lime, Redmond's sea salt. I will link that down in the description. I've been trying to be more hydrated, and ever since 2022, fell off my mountain bike. I had a salad the night before, no electrolytes, and my muscles cramped and I was hitting my leg. I couldn't stand up. For a couple of minutes, I was freaking out. Was able to finally start walking my mountain bike back up the mountain, but I've been on a mission since 2021 to start being well hydrated, being more hydrated. And so I can tell you all the most important things in the world, but geez, I just had a client, and she's older. I'm not gonna say her age because she'll be mad, but she was in the hospital, all right? She didn't see me for a handful of months, and she was dehydrated, landed in her hospital, and ever since she's been having her water, she's felt better. She lost 20 pounds, not even exercising, eating better and drinking water, so I'm so proud of her. She finally hit her goal weight. Now we're focused on getting stronger, increasing her mobility, but this has been one of the best things. Like, how am I feeling so great 30 days after ACL surgery? I've been hydrating like crazy. So make sure you stay hydrated. It's one of the easiest things you can do. I wake up first thing in the morning, have a giant 45-ounce shaker cup, collagen, greens, beetroot powder, creatine, electrolytes, and a little bit of digestive powder, protein powder, and I just mix all that up. I'm sipping that for a few hours. Fill up this thing. I might sneak in a couple of bottled waters in between, so I'm getting at least 140, 50 plus ounces of water. Exercises and working out, hydrating your body will help dramatically. Now that we've covered that, my new favorite thing, and I think why I'm also feeling so good, is the Normatec Elite leg sleeves by Hyperice. These have been amazing. So I'm gonna just take off these shoes. Got my Zero shoes, just came in today. I'll talk about those. But I was using the Connects. You saw how am I recovering so fast right after ACL surgery. I was using the machine with the knee compression and icing, but now I just literally started taking up my leg workouts to another level using the leg press, but my knee hasn't been hurting that much, which is good because I think just using these leg sleeves, I am getting so much compression that it's helping just reducing some of this pain. Like at the end of the day, sometimes you feel like, oh, my feet are achy, they need a massage, or my foot, but this just squeezes the crap out of your legs. So we throw the legs in through the sleeve, and what I love about the new Normatec Elites, I'm gonna do a whole video on this, by the way, but we've got to include this into my how am I feeling so great 30 days after ACL surgery, because this is the thing I do every single morning right now. Every morning I wake up, right? I've been in the habit about doing my 8 hours a day of rehab. Well, ever since my legs got better, let's see if Arlo leaves. He's like, what's going on here? Now I'm not doing 8 hours, I'm doing like a couple hours. So I do this for an hour every day. I do PT just about for an hour every day, whether it's foam rolling or some band stretches or hypervolt massage or something. But I've been using these leg sleeves. They kind of look like some big old moon space boots, but the regular Normatec is great. They're a little bit cheaper. That's their first gen, or I don't know what gen, first or two. Let's call this third gen. I'm not sure. But they have the big cord. You got to plug it in the wall to use it. Beauty of this, Bluetooth. Well, I guess they connect wirelessly or whatever to each other, so they're used simultaneously. But you can charge them. They got a 4-hour life cycle, and I've probably charged these twice so far in the past week because Kat, she uses them too, so we're both using these. And basically what you do is you just turn these on, and we'll turn them on here. And then once they're on, you'll just hold down the power button, and then you're gonna look here, I'll show you. They've got the intensity and then the time and then the zone, and then start, stop. So honestly, I just keep level 7, max intensity. Now, even after ACL surgery, I started using these when? Week 3, I think? Maybe it was just around week 2 I ordered them. In between week 2 and 3, you know, it's about a good 8 on the knee. I was like, ooh, I feel it a little bit, but it wasn't like I couldn't handle it. So you might want to be careful. If you're very sensitive, I might probably start at 3 or 4, but they have levels 1 through 7. So maybe you just can't handle any pressure. You start at 1. I just like leaving these at level 7. They have an app. I haven't even bothered with it. There's way too many, not way too many, but they have a lot of different settings. There's 5 different zones. So you have foot, ankle, you have you know, shin, and then you have knee, or shin, calf, knee, lower thigh, upper thigh. And so if you put zone 1, for example, it's supposed to give you a little bit more pressure and intensity in the foot. And I'm sure with an app you can set like, oh, zone 1, I want max intensity. Around my calf, they're tender, I want level 2 intensity. I just keep level 7, I hit the button, I let it just do everything. So within the app, now with the foot, everything starts with the feet, right? So the way don't hold me to this, I'm not a scientist or very scientific with the human body, but with foot and circulation, everything starts in the feet and then works its way up, and the calves are responsible for sending blood flow up and down to the body. And so they almost say like your calves are your second heart. So you actually have to have zone 1 on all the time. You squeeze the feet first. And basically, if you have inflammation, say you rolled your ankle or it's swollen, you might want to be a little careful, but it's going to squeeze the foot. It's going to get some of that fluid and that inflammation out of the foot. It's going to bring it up, and slowly it's going to work its way so it can circulate that fluid. Now, I'm not your doctor or therapist, so you may need to see a primary care physician or your doctor first, because maybe you have an issue with your kidneys and they're not filtering things out of your body properly, and so you might have an issue. Or maybe you're not drinking enough water and your body's retaining excess fluid around your ankles and legs. That can be a whole other issue, so just make sure you're hydrated. You've talked with your doctor about using something like this. I'm not giving you medical advice. And this isn't used to cure or treat any disease, but going through an ACL surgery the first time, I just felt after surgery like my leg needed to be squeezed. So anywho, we hit the start button, we turn these things on, boom, and then they're gonna start to inflate. All right, so they're filling up. The feet filled up first. It gives you a light little bit of compression. Next, after the feet, the whole foot compresses, then I'm feeling my shin, my lower calf, starting to work its way there. And then it'll inflate a little, and it'll deflate. Now it's working its way to the knees, and it's starting off with a base level of compression. So you can see there's like little moon boots here. Now, if you're a female, for these, they're like kind of one size fits all. I'm not sure if the other models are a little bit different. I'm 5'11", they fit pretty good, but I'll fair warn you, if you're a guy and you pull these all the way up, you gotta keep your feet a little bit out wide, because when it gets to the top, it's gonna squish your balls a little bit, just being honest. So now you could put these sleeves down a little bit, keep your legs out a little bit wider if you're sitting on the couch so you won't get anything, too much compression around the groin region. But these things, you can see they're all super puffy. And now I wouldn't recommend walking in these at all. They're expensive. They're like $1,000, so I don't want to like mess them up. Even though I did get a Black Friday deal, they might be like $8.99. I think I got them for $8.49 in shipping. I probably paid $900 something for them. I think they retail for about $1,000. Totally worth it though. I would probably say, if you've had ACL surgery with knee trauma and swelling and you don't get access to the compression equipment, you need these. Like, this is an investment. So I'll have my link down in the description. You can get these on Amazon. They are amazing. You know, I was talking with another trainer here, even for cyclists, when you abuse your legs, and I mean, all of us, like, what do we do a lot if we're not sitting? We're walking, or we should be biking, but we're walking everywhere. We use our feet so much, and our feet get beat up. We wreck our bodies. We feed ourselves poison through alcohol, and we eat food, and not saying all of us drink, although we shouldn't. I haven't had any alcohol in about a year and a half, and that can be another video. But anywho, we put our body through trauma, and so what this can do is helps us recover. So as you can see, it's making its way all the way up. Compression, right? Like I said, I have it pulled up to my thigh, and even at 5'11", I think these are made for, you know, people that are at least up to 6'3", but you can kind of push down the top of the thighs a little bit, at least get your feet in through the sleeves, and it gives you a good compression. So it starts with the feet, goes through the shin, the calf, the knee, and the thigh, and it just goes up a little bit higher. And basically it's gonna go through its cycle. So I always just do 30 minutes to kind of give it that, that one rotation. Now, if you're short on time, I would at least give it like 15 minutes just to go through like the little cycle. As you can see, when I was hitting that button, it has the 45, 60, 15, 30. And then once it goes through everything, it slowly squeezes a little bit more, squeezes a little bit more, squeezes a little bit more, and then it decompresses. And then when it finally deflates, you're gonna feel this warming sensation. So you're like, whoa, whoa, it's getting a little bit warm. That's just fresh blood getting right back into the muscle. So it squeezes a little bit and then it relaxes and it squeezes a little bit harder. And like I said, I'm not scientific with the body, but it's supposed to mimic your body helping get circulation through and from the feet all the way up and down. But some of us, we don't have that good circulation. So using modern science and a little bit of medicine, we can help, well, more science on this part and tools, but we can help increase some of that circulation back into the body. So right now, I just felt my foot getting a little bit warm. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze here, but the compression went away there. And so now next, what it's gonna start doing is it's gonna start, filling that area back up with air. But so now, a little less air in here, and basically it's just kind of going through its cycles. So now there's less air in there. Now the thighs are getting a little bit tighter. And it's just gonna go through some different modes. So like I said, if you change the zones a little bit, you can focus on your thighs having a little bit more intense pressure than some of the areas on the body. Like I said, I just keep it on the zone level. I just have the dash and just leave it alone. Level 7 intensity, 30 minutes, and I just go through that cycle. And so it starts squeezing up higher here. It starts, easing off a little bit in certain other areas. And I love these leg sleeves. These are one of those things you gotta try them. If you don't wanna buy them just yet, I would recommend, at least in the United States, we have Icebox, my chiro at Alliance Sports Medicine and Milton, Dr. Zeller. They have these leg sleeves there. There's a lot of recovery clinics, and you can go get IVs, and like where I was downstairs at Precision, that'll be another video. Got an NAD IV today to help with energy levels and just more increased energy, feeling better since we're traveling in a little bit. Anyway, another video for that. But really love these leg sleeves. They're awesome. I'm not gonna go too much longer in these, but they're amazing. And it's just squeezing my leg. It's just, even with my right knee, for example, it's just so inflamed. So getting some of that swelling and it's just squeezing it, it's gonna help get rid of some of the swelling. And I'm doing this day by day, and immediately after I'm done using this, I can just take steps and walk so much easier. So we're just gonna head and end these real quick. And I just hit the stop button. I'm just gonna go ahead and power off. We're gonna end the cycle early. I'm gonna take these things off. But oh man, it's like right even after you're done using it, especially if it's winter time and it's a little bit cooler in your house, it's like I'm getting out of like a little warm sleeping bag or something. So immediately, like taking these off, I mean, I haven't shown you the test, but ooh, like now I'm not supposed to be doing deep squats, but damn, like I feel like, now you can even see like my left butt cheek is sitting lower. This is swollen. I'm not gonna go too much, but it feels good. Like I can't run, but damn, like, and I really attribute it to these and everything else I'm doing and getting all my sleep, my hydration, recovery, but I wanna jump. I just wanna sprint right now, but I'm not, okay? 30 days, but I feel so damn good. And just having the experience rehabbing my knee the first time, especially using these Normatec leg sleeves by Hyperice. Like I said, if you want the cheaper option, they have the ones you plug into the wall. These things are super cool. They come with a little charger. The cool thing is like if they die, you can go ahead and plug them in and then charge them, and then they start working immediately. So you're charging them and using them at the same time. I'm gonna be traveling with these on my way to Germany and Austria, although I'm not snowboarding, but if I was coming back from a snowboarding session, I would be throwing these on. So if you're a snowboarder or a skier this winter season, get these. If you play basketball, if you run football, any sport really that you're using your lower body, soccer, cycling, I would be using these leg sleeves in 30 minutes to an hour after a workout. First thing in the morning, they help so much for recovery. And like I said, immediately as you're getting that fresh blood flow through the legs, it's like, I don't know, I would equivalent to like, riding a bike for 10, 15 minutes, but you're just sitting there on the couch, getting some good recovery, and it's just gonna help you move so much better. So even the first and second days out of surgery, I was hopping up and down the steps, just like Arlo left here. But now I think it's hard to say like what's the best and most important thing of why am I feeling so great 30 days after surgery, but what was really helping me recover a lot too was just simply taking the steps. Now I showed you on how I'm recovering so fast, or no, I think the exercise one where I was taking that step off of there and I was using the crutch and it kind of felt a little iffy. Well, we're 30 days and I can kind of safely take the steps. So every day I'm taking the steps, I'm coming down, I'm bending the foot and I'm just taking steps. Obviously my left leg, I can do it a lot easier and I'm taking a big step coming down. I cannot do that with my right leg. Can I even fathom it? Sometimes I'll experiment and see, right? I mean, if you know your own body, so right there, very limited. So I can't even go down all the way. It's just way too much pressure in my knee. And I'm not even at that stage of my recovery yet. But at least taking the steps, I have my foot towards the edge of the step. You might even be able to see here. My toe kind of goes over the edge and I bend it and I take a step, and it's a little bit early, but same thing here, just having that step coming down and I walk. And so every day I'm taking steps and I'm doing them one by one. I can do them a little bit faster, but I really feel having stairs in my house has been so helpful. Now, if you're like not as athletic, I was holding onto the rail. You'll see one of my other videos that I had to like hop, and I was hopping on my left leg and taking a step. Or when at day 2 out of surgery, I was literally hopping one leg coming up the stairs. I couldn't even, but I think days 4 and 5, I was able to kind of stiff leg and take the steps a little bit easier. Coming down though was very tough the first week, even trying to put weight onto that leg. So I had a left leg step. Now 30 days in, I'm finally able just to kind of regularly walk a little bit easier. And so having steps and taking steps has been very crucial, just even in my early beginning phases in these first 30 days, getting my glutes, my hamstrings and quads, just getting them to work a little bit more, having these steps, and it was just really help improving my strength right off the bat. Strength training, squats. I would normally in physical therapy be using this Quantum Fitness horizontal leg press. I've said it before, really want to get this, but on my own, I am just doing some basic squats. And right now, as far as strength, I can use a little bit of weight on the leg press. Nothing crazy. I'm doing like 120. I think I got up to 160 pounds, 120, went to 140. I used 160 pounds on the 2-legged leg press. All machines are a little different, so that weight might be irrelative to comparing it to some other machines. But even now, just doing a body weight squat, sitting down onto the bench, you can even see my left butt cheek hits first. So I go down slow, and then it's almost like you feel like an air compressor or like a tire deflating. It's almost like my body has to reset to get my right butt cheek to kind of like and relax. Once my right glute and left glute feel even sitting onto the bench, then I push together. But it's still a little harder. It almost feels like I'm like standing up at an angle, like because my left leg is perfect and my right leg is so swollen. So, but even just literally nothing crazy, I'll do like a couple sets of 10. Slow on the way down, really focusing on that eccentric. And then as you can see, as it's a little bit stiffer here, I'm not like able to, so I have more hip hinge. And when I hip hinge and bend at the waist, it allows me to load my glutes a little bit more. And then I just take a moment, I wait for my body to relax. They'll even say in yoga, like as you're sitting in the poses, time, patience, and gravity will allow you to get into those poses a little bit easier. Then my hamstring, my quad, or my hamstring and glute, they can fully sit against the seat. I'll try and, before I even come up, clench my butt cheeks, squeeze my glutes, get a little pop, and then hip hinge, and then come up. When I come up to the top, I imagine like I'm doing this. I'm pelvic thrusting, although I'm not, but I'm simulating that. I'm rotating my heels in, I'm squeezing my inner thighs, I'm clenching my butt cheeks up at the top, knees soft. And then I'm back down again, slowly. Again, 10 reps, nice and easy. As I warm up a little bit easier, well, as I warm up, it still takes about 3 to 5 seconds for my glute to fully get to the bottom and I stand back up. That's what I'm focusing on now. I'm not doing this yet. I may little bit get into a little squat stretch, but here's a test, right? I'm gonna come down. I did this just before I filmed this, just to see. So you can almost see the left hammy. Oh, I'm not even gonna do more. So right there, pretty stiff. I'm not doing these for reps because that would just be stupid, but it's even just uneven. You can look, my body doesn't wanna be here yet. This knee is just swollen. This thigh is off. My hip feels like the hip shifted. I shouldn't be there yet. So I'm gonna use a hand to step up. Too much, too soon. I can get down there, but these are little things I'm doing trying to get into these positions. But these squats are, if you don't have access to leg press, like open chain exercises, like this technically would be open chain where my body is still but my foot is moving. There's a leg press where the foot moves and the body stays still. You want your feet to stay still, closed chains, you want your body to move. So that horizontal leg press, I'm literally lying back down onto the ground, and then, you know, my feet are just here, my body moves on this little machine. And I can do a single leg press, and I can do the two-legged horizontal leg press. And that has been really good for strength, so I'm gonna keep going to physical therapy, using that machine. I would love to get one in here, but that's been very crucial to helping me out. But I think safely, if you're able to just not even, like even if you're, you know, this is right at 90, but even if you can't go as low, maybe you put a plate or, you know, shit, this would even be nothing for me. Well, obviously we're not trying to do this. Okay, you get the idea. You want to even have something where, okay, let's maybe use a better example. Using this balance pad, you might even elevate your surface just a little bit higher. So sitting down, like that's super easy for me. But just start off basic. You know, if you have your feet very closed, a lot of tension on the knees. A lot of people, when they sit down, they rock forward, they put all the weight in their knees, they can't get up. You want to engage your glutes. So especially if I'm working with someone new, I'm teaching them how to engage their glutes. I'll have them a little bit more sumo style or wider stance, hip hinge, and I'll have them sit down out wide. And then before they stand up, a lot of people, they'll just have their feet here on the rock, throw it onto your knees. Don't throw your weight into your knees. Keep it into your glutes. Hip hinge forward, right? Rock the body forward, have that butt backing out. Now use your glutes, squeeze your butt and come up. That's how I would probably come off of a seat. And that's utilizing squats in this technique has really helped me to rebuild some of my leg strength. And it may help you out too if you're going along the same thing in your journey. Recovering from knee pain or just trying to build stronger legs. Last thing I'm going to show you, I'm doing some deep lunge stretches, hybrid split squat stretch. This is not protocol. I don't recommend you doing this. Don't try it. I just feel like I can, and I'm working my knee. I feel the tendons, the ligament, all the tissue just stretching and pulling. It still feels early, but it is helping me. And I've had this range of motion. I've had great flexibility before, so I feel like I'm getting into it easier. Now, all the things I'm showing you here today in this video is some of the new stuff I've been doing since my last update. So pretty much for the 2-week update video, which you've probably seen, or if you haven't seen yet, check that video out. My band stretches, especially after the workout, getting the resistance band or getting that little stretch band, putting it around the foot, lying down prone on my stomach, pulling that leg, and then also doing the band stretch, getting that knee to bend, getting all that flexion, getting everything to squeeze. Those are the things I'm still doing the most, but these are the things I've just added in recently. Like I was actually at physical therapy and, you know, coming down, like right now I'm gonna get into this lunge. I'm using my hand, I'm holding on to something, right? I might even have a pad down so I can still handle this here, all right? My right knee is my surgical leg, but I'm lightly, now I'm stretching my right hip and my groin. I can kind of get into this little bit of a world's greatest stretch, forearm, T rotation. I can't tell you what it feels. I feel like I'm feeling amazing in 30 days in because I'm finally getting the ability to do some of the stretches that have always felt so good. So even same thing now, opposite side, this one can be a little bit harder, but I'm always finding little objects and things. You may not have equipment like I do, but if you can find some things around the house, I'm not recommending you to do this, but getting this knee to bend, getting that left hip and quad, and even this is just a good little knee stretch. Sometimes I would even have clients like, you know, let's see if I can get this bench. I'd have them on like a high box, for example. I have them put their foot up just like this. And sometimes this is it. This is all we can do. But I might even go a little bit more forward and then kind of push. And then I'm looking for that knee to bend a little bit more. So I'm just trying to get my knee to bend in all ranges, movements, and different you know, ranges of motion. But this one is really stretching my bottom hip, my left hip. I might turn to the side, get my oblique. I can't tell you how good it feels to get back into some of these stretches again. Obviously, you can see I'm very limited here. Can't get my forearm down. Groin is very tight, but I'll get into this position and kind of bend my knees. And after I was doing my leg press, my back was getting a little tight, so I was doing these kind of knee bends. And then the other day I was here and I was just like, I don't know, let me see if I can do it. This is probably an aggressive stretch. And obviously, yeah, I know, I'm not supposed to overdo it and I'm not trying to do crazy reps. My whole goal right now is basic strength, lots of flexibility and mobility. that's all I'm trying to do is just get mobile. So I'm hanging only here, split squat stance. Actually, I'll elevate this a little bit higher. Just trying to hang on almost for dear life, and then I'm coming down. So normally on a split squat, I am getting a deep stretch. That's tender, so I'm almost like I'm bringing my foot forward. I'm getting a way deeper stretch. Now this one I'm feeling a lot, so I'm just slowly, I'm like basically bending that leg back. I would never do split squats like this, right? But I'm just working that knee. Oh, then once I'm there, it's like I can kind of stretch and then slowly working back. So right now, I feel inside the knee is just so tight. So I'm just doing this kind of little rock here. I'm just kind of rocking my leg back and forth, but I'm using my hands and I'm helping myself pull up. And then comboing that, you probably saw in the other video, I'll have my foot elevated, usually up against the wall or something, and then I'm dynamic calf. So after I stretch, I'll go dynamic calf, lock it out, pushing that knee, getting the ankle flexion, dynamic calf Achilles stretch, stretching out that calf, stretching out the Achilles. And then once I have that back leg, then I'm gonna have the other leg and I'll switcheroo, I'll drop. Obviously a little bit easier for me to get down. So typical split squat, I'd probably be down and pushing this knee here a little bit, kind of in that range, pushing up and down slow. I'm already able to do a split squat onto the other leg, down to the pad though, but again, I can, but I'm not gonna even do it. I'm not pushing it. Every 3 or 4 days, I'm trying to see what I can do. Obviously, this is still a big push, and I've only done just a couple of reps each side because this is already a lot, but I'm going slow, and I'm just trying to get my leg to stretch because this is helping my knee bend a little bit more. I'll play around with it. Sometimes I'll keep the ankle here. They get a little bit more hip and some quad, but if I let this toe come down a little bit, I'm not putting the weight on that knee, but I can kind of dynamic. It took me 93 days to get my heel to touch my butt the first time. We're at day 30. I don't know if I can beat that record, but again, these are all the things that I'm doing. I'm just trying to test the waters to try and get my knee to bend, to try and get that mobility so I can get my flexibility back and be back in action training like I was before. Covered a lot in today's video. Between using the Normatec leg sleeves, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and give this the honorable mention. As much as I love my Mark Pro and shocking my leg, I've been using this consecutively every single day and it's helped so much. So these first 30 days after ACL surgery, doing it once I thought would have been plenty, but I've done it a second time, and so I'm feeling great. I'm feeling very good. I feel like I'm recovering quickly. The thing I'm just a little worried about is at the filming of this video, in 3 days, I am going to Germany. Today's Saturday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're flying to Germany, going to Munich, going to Austria, not snowboarding, cat snowboarding. We're gonna be hanging out, eating a lot of good food, recovering, and then we're gonna be flying back, going to Kat's hometown, seeing her family, hanging out, just gonna have a great time. So I think with my leg being down a lot, that's the only thing I'm a little cautious of, but I had got cleared, they have surgery, and I was able to travel. So that's why I'm doing all of this stuff, so I'm able to travel, but also I wanna get back to my full ability. And no matter where you're at in life or in your training journey, you've got to include some sort of therapeutic measure, whether if it's foam rolling, getting a deep tissue massage, or doing some sort of stretches, because doing nothing is a choice. And I know some of us think that, oh, I don't need to exercise, I don't need to stretch, I'll be okay. You need to do something, because I guarantee you're gonna feel some sort of pain in your life. We've all been there, either a lower back pain, a twinge, or whatever, and maybe you're that random 1 in a million person that has just never got hurt. Well, praise God, you're blessed and you've never had any injuries. But if you're gonna live a life worth living and trying something fun, maybe doing a little cross-country skiing, snowboarding, mountain biking, kayaking, cycling, scuba diving, skydiving, I don't know. Like, there's a chance that your body can bend and twist in a way that it hadn't been in a while, and it can get a little painful. So having some therapeutic measures, having some mobility, some foam rolling, some dynamic stretching, some sort of movement to help your body feel and move better, and obviously with the training and strength training to help it look better, will help you a ton in your life. So thank you so much for following me on a journey. I really appreciate you. And if you don't do it for me, do it for Arlo, right? Give this video a thumbs up, give it a like. Do it for Arlo, because he's the best, and he's been along with me all the way through my recovery and this journey. And I know poor little guy, he won't be here forever. I feel like hopefully he could be 30 because we feed him so much good food. But he's been a blast, and as much as I want to think that, all right, you getting a little antsy, that all this stuff has been great for my recovery, he's been awesome. For the emotional support alone, he's been amazing. Just having him there, the hold and cuddle, he's been great. So don't do it for me. Like the video, subscribe, and share with friends or family for Arlo. But again, I can't stress how, again, I'm thankful if you watched this video all the way through. I was even talking with Sam here filming that this is a long one, but these are all the things I just feel like there's no other way to get this out. These are the things I'm thinking about as I'm going through this journey and recovery. And I've had over 25 years of exercise experience that has got me here. I didn't get here by accident, and I've had plenty of therapists and surgeons and chiropractors and massage therapists and other trainers that I've talked to that have helped educate me and get me to the point where I am in my life, and that I'm able to do all these things because I feel so good about it. So if you've got a little injury or a bruise or a bump, yeah, see your doctor, see your primary care physician to address that. But when you're ready to train and go to the next level, I highly encourage you to take action. I don't care how old you are, 8, 10, 18, 38, 40, 88, start. I don't care when, just please start. Because you never know, when I said in the last video, you never know when the last day you're gonna be able to do something. Like, when was the last time you jumped? 20 years ago? Can you jump now? Can you do a handstand? I don't know. When was the last time you did one? Was it when you were 12? Are you 49 now? Can you not? Well, you should be able to. I mean, heck, I just, I'm not gonna do it, but I am ready to do handstands again. So I say all that because you wanna be prepared for anything that life throws at you. And some of us, we trip over a curb, we might fall down, or we stub our toe in something. And I mean, heck, I almost tripped the other day and I was babying my knee and I caught myself on the edge of something. I put my hands down, I'm like, oh my God, damn, I almost tripped and fell. And I just had surgery. Like, I could have technically retore this knee if I was like completely, not well trained. So anyways, take care of your body, take care of your life, so that way you could take care of other people around you, because you don't want to be having you don't want to have other people just constantly, let me rephrase that. You don't want to have it to where you're constantly depending on other people and placing that burden on them to help take care of you. I understand as we get older, we might need some help, but you want to be strong enough where you can take care of yourself and you can be in the best shape and you don't have to rely on other people. And so that way you can take care of other people in your life. So first and foremost, be strong, be fit, be mobile, be healthy, nurture your body with good nutrients, get plenty of sleep, reduce your stress, drink a lot of water, eat well, have your hormones in check, especially if you're over the age of 25. Get all that stuff checked out. I will link a lot of the things down that I talked about in this video down in the description for you to check out, especially these Normatec leg sleeves that can help you along in your journey with training and recovery. So again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I can't wait to see you checking out my next video.
I keep on working, got purpose and worth. Music's my cure and this world is my purse. Get rid of this curse with every verse. Of course I've been hurt, but some have been much worse. Leave me alone, get out of my head. Block out the opinions until I am dead. They all go to speak, but should listen instead. Listen some more and you'll cease to regret. I keep on working, I got it on track. You gonna see my name up on the flag. I sail this ship and I'll never come back. I keep this bitch on the line to attack. Never look back, I make a record like Crash. Top of my bracket I smash, I'm like a pack. I'm about to stack it like cash.